Hey there, this is Chris Cast, Season 2, Episode 26. My name's Chris Abraham, and I'm out here again, outside. There are no cicadas, but there are children playing in a fountain here in Penrose Square Park in sexy South Arlington, Virginia, right at the corner of Columbia Pike and Burton Street, methinks. Barton Street. And this episode is about how much I'm struggling with my diet, with my intermittent fasting, with my one meal a day, and with all that other stuff. So I thought I would go into some details about how that's going with me, how I'm doing with that, and things I'm going to try, things I have tried, things I've accepted that aren't strict, dirty fasting, embracing things like broth, chicken broth, beef broth, bone broth, chicken bone broth, beef bone broth into my life. So it'll be boring. I will talk about other more fueled political intrigue in the next episode, but this one I'm just going to brain dump on how challenging this has been in light of the fact that it was pretty easy for me to give up drinking. I just stopped, so this is a little bit more difficult. And I'll also share my rationalizations. I'll be right back to you after this quick commercial break. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's where I started my podcast. It's where I edited my podcast. It's where I put sound design into my podcast. And it's where I monetize my podcast. And it's from where I share my podcast to every single other podcast platform. It's the place that I decided is the easiest and best place for me to podcast. Thank you. Check it out.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back. This is Chris Cast. My name's Chris Abraham. This is Season 2. Episode 26. I'm sitting here in Penrose Square Park in sexy South Arlington, right off of Columbia Pike. You can probably hear buses in the background, and you can probably hear kids playing in a fountain. That fountain is the kind of fountain that exists on a flagstone patio kind of area, and all the water shoots up from the ground. And so that's the closest thing we have to a public pool in the area. So lots and lots of kids come in here. Daycare centers bring the kids here. Babies play. And it's a really good liability risk, because it's really difficult for children to drown. Although it's really easy for kids to fall over and break their skull open on the flagstone. So I guess it's all about pros and cons lists, right? I will be right back to you after the break. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. My name's Chris Abraham. It's season 2, episode 26 of Chris Cast, and I'm going to report to you about how my intermittent fasting is going. Well, instead of doing just the simple thing that my cardiologist told me to do, which is just do not eat before noon and do not eat after 7, I started doing that, and then I'm like, hells yeah, I'm gonna do a more extreme where I do 20 hours fasting and 4 hours eating, or an 18-6, or a 19-5, or a 17-7, or a 16-8. But then I went so far as to go an advanced OMAD, 1 meal a day, which would take me to 23 hours and 45 minutes a day with only a 15-minute eating window. And that went great until I started to feel the flu symptoms and the freak out of my body. And then I'm like, well, what I'll do is I'll set my app, which is the Kevin Rose special called the Zero, and I will set that to an advanced 24.75 hours a day, and then I will just be happy when I hit 16 hours, or when I hit 18 hours, or when I hit 20 hours. And anything above 16 hours will be a win for me, and anything above 24 will be a super win, and anything that's exactly when set for when I am supposed to go back into fasting is going to be a win-win. So that went pretty well for a few days. I lost weight like crazy, but I was being strict. I wasn't including any electrolytes. I wasn't adding any salts. I was just drinking black coffee, tea, or water. And then I exhibited some secondary effects that were making me grumpy cat. And so people are like, you need electrolytes, or why not try some bone broth? And then it snowballed from there. I started making all kinds of mistakes. I started breaking fasts early. I started guzzling bone broth, and then chicken broth, and then chicken stock. And aside from the fact that it was all liquid diet, I was still being a little piggy instead of doing what fasting is supposed to do, which is encouraging your body to resort to fat and to stored energy, instead of requiring exclusively carbohydrates and whatever's in your tum-tum. So that's been a struggle. I've enabled myself by giving myself some, by being kind to myself. I found an out, and so I've been taking that out, and I need to stop being so accepting as to what I would allow myself to do versus what I need to do to return to the path of drastically losing weight, which I really need to do for my health, for my longevity, for my sex appeal, for my dateability, for my comfort, and for how I get around in the world. You know, it's not easy on my body to have an extra 110 pounds by now. 110 pounds. I have a friend who tells me that my goal should be 100 kilos. And 100 kilos is about 220 pounds. And I think that sounds right. I think 100 kilos is what I'm aiming for. And that's what I'm going to aim at. So I have to reconvene and stop giving myself outs, and be rigorous and do what I say I'm going to do, but also realize that I will never lose this weight through exercise alone. You can't outrun the fork, you can't outrun the glass, you can't outrun the spoon or the knife. You need to make sure that you eat like a skinny person, and I'll talk about how skinny people eat in the next segment. Hey there, I'm back. It's season 2, episode 26. My name's Chris Abraham, and I'm near the street, and I'm near a park, and I'm near kids, and I'm near a fountain that is splashy. So I don't know how this is going to sound, but I'm going to continue forth. All right, how do normal people eat? How do skinny people eat? How do old skinny people eat? Well, there's a guy named either Nicholas or Nathan who is at the cafe every morning, and he's got a little bit of a pot belly, but he just turned 70, and I would say he's pretty fit. He's not like Dan Kruger's dad fit, but he's a healthy, fit guy of a certain age, just turned 70 a few days ago, and he forgets to eat all the time. One thing that I know about skinny people, especially into their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, is that their natural state is intermittent fasting. They don't have a name for it. They don't track it on Zone. They don't track it on my Fitness Pal. They don't track it on Fitbit. They just do it, which is they wake up. Maybe they eat at 10 o'clock in the morning, then they forget to eat until maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock that night. If they eat for lunch, they just have a sandwich or a half grilled cheese sandwich in a bowl of tomato soup, or one tuna fish sandwich, or a bowl of soup. Or they will forget to eat for a couple days and then have a splitting headache, which will remind them that they have to eat. Another thing they love to do is they love to guzzle drinks. And a lot of skinny people are never anywhere without some sort of iced tea, not sugar iced tea, but some sort of steeped tea, iced or hot drink. I don't know how the Brits do it, because they put sugar and milk in all their drinks. But I know that all the skinny people that I know sip tea all day long. The skinny people that I know always have a Nalgene bottle with them. They always guzzle water, at least water, tea, that sort of thing. Another thing that skinny people do is they do a lot of walking, they do a lot of moving. They find all of their happy time in some sort of movement. They take the stairs. They're always being fastidious at home. They're always doing something physical. But that's not always true. That I know a lot of very thin and slender people who, whenever they have downtime, they just relax like sleepy cats and read novels. But they don't read novels with a bag of chips next to them. They lie back with things like radishes and celery and things like that. So you just have to find your slenderest, oldest friend, and you need to shadow them. I know that corporations have these things called shadowings, where when you're new at a company or when you're trying to get ready for a new company, I know that even my spooky friend out in the Middle East, he's transitioning back home, and I know that for 2 weeks he's having his replacements shadow him. So shadowing is a thing, and I think you need to find the healthiest, slenderest, most healthy looking person in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you need to shadow them. You need to emulate their diet. It'll probably be something crazy like a cup of coffee and toast with butter, which is to say one slice of toast, butter, and jam in the morning, and a tuna sandwich at lunch, and then whatever the family's having at night, maybe chicken, rice, and broccoli. And they might even have an evening ice cream, but that ice cream would be just a couple large spoons in a bowl. It wouldn't be the whole pint. Now think about what you eat over the course of the day. It really shouldn't be more than, depending on your activity level, your skinny friends probably eat between 900 and 1200 calories a day if they're sedentary. If they're active, they're probably eating 1500 to 2500 calories a day. And if they're also slender but they're an athlete, they're probably eating between 3000 and 5000 calories a day. But the pretty librarian who doesn't have a daily jog or go to the gym, he or she is probably only taking in 1000 to 1500 calories a day, and they've done it like that for their entire life. So that's much different than when I let my calories get away from me. They can be 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories, depending on how much I slip or how much I binge. As I've said before, I willfully, to remain 250 pounds with the amount of activity that I do, which is I try to be as active as possible, but I'm no active god. But, you know, you've seen my social media. Yeah, I should only be doing 1250 calories a day to do the kind of reduction that I want. And that's every day. That's every day. There might need to be some days that I don't do that, because I need to make sure that my body realizes that it's certainly not in starvation mode. And I need to make sure that I supplement that with electrolytes, and I am allowed to have some, let's say, some pickle juice or some chicken stock or some bone broth or some yummy sauerkraut or sauerkraut juice to make it a dirty intermittent fast or OMAD. But I shouldn't really do more than that. And even if I'm suffering from some sort of ketosis flu or some sort of diet flu, I should just soldier through it and try to just maybe drink or swallow a pinch. Swallow a pinch of salt or something like that. Pinch of kosher salt, or maybe something to that effect. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Talk to you after the break, and then I'll close it out. Hey there, Chris Cast here, Season 2, Episode 26. My name's Chris Abraham, and I'm sweltering under the sun here in sexy South Arlington while the kids play in the fountain, and I'm in Penrose Square Park, which is at the corner of Barton and Columbia Pike in sexy South Arlington. And I just want to tell you how you can contact me. My name's Chris Abraham. My WhatsApp, my Signal, my Telegram, and my texting is +1 202 352 5051. My email is chris@abraham.su. My Calendly is calendly.com/chrisabraham/30. You can find all the information at chrisabraham.com or abraham.su. You can also find me at social media at Chris Abraham on Twitter, at Chris Abraham on Instagram, /in/Chris Abraham on LinkedIn, /u/Chris Abraham on Reddit. You can find me at Christopher Abraham on TikTok. I don't know what my Snapchat is. I don't even use that. And I think that's it. If you want to find where my home HQ is for this podcast, it's anchor.fm/Chris Abraham. And you can find me anywhere, so please, and everywhere, even on YouTube now, thanks to studioship.io. I am also on YouTube. So find me on YouTube or reach out to me at any place on any of the podcast indexes, platforms for ChrisCast, and please like, subscribe, and review me 5 stars, and I'll talk to you soon. I hope you're well. Merci beaucoup. À tout à l'heure. Auf Wiedersehen. Hasta la próxima. Y ciao. Bye.